Hello everyone, in the previous video we talked about how to solve puzzles of the range 1600-1800, and in today's video we will talk about the range 2000-2200. So the difference from the previous video is that we will do a bit more consideration about the position in order to understand better what is the move. I will do around 10 puzzles, and here the first thing to notice is this pin. So we could think about capturing this knight after after rook takes. There are some things to look because well, if pawn takes, then queen takes, so it's not good. But I think that black has something like rook a5, and on rook a5 we could have this intermediate move, rook c7, and we should be fine after if rook takes, we take the queen and we are up a piece. So let's go for that, and there is nothing else for black. Okay, on this one, actually, we can take the queen and then take also the rook, so we trade more pieces. Okay, second thing, for sure, there is something around the king. And the first thing I notice is that all this structure is a bit loose. So we could think about taking this knight, but after no, we could do it. We could do it. I was also thinking of moves like b7, but maybe later. So on queen takes g3, we are threatening mate on g2. There are no checks for black. Well, there is this check, but it does nothing. So the only way to prevent this mate is by playing queen here or rook here. No, rook here hangs a rook. So queen e2, and after queen e2, we could play, I think, a bishop b7 seems good. So let's go. And this is finished. So next puzzle. Okay, on this one, again, the king is really unsafe, but the queen, white queen, is in a nice spot. So, and for now, the material is, we are down 2 pieces and a rook. So we have to deliver checkmate, and this rook cannot play. So the first, we have to look for forcing moves, and well, there are no. So the first move that I take in consideration is simply capture, and after this capture, there is forced king takes, and now we have to look again for checks. So queen g3, and the king has to go on f1, and after that bishop. This is finished. Sorry, I put my laptop in charge. Okay, we are back. Okay, on this one, again, as the this diagonal is really weak. So I think we can use this fact, and the first move that I consider is bishop takes, because well, if pawn takes or queen takes, it doesn't make so much difference. Then we have a check on b3 and we take the rook. So and it's kind of forced to take. It could play queen. It could play rook before, but then we have this check on a2, and we take the other rook. This was the puzzle. Okay. On this one, well, the first thing to notice is this file and the fact that this pawn is pinned. So we could think on something like knight f3 check that attacks also the rook, but I don't think that the puzzle is about the rook, because is simply not so much material. So I think that we can thinking also on sacrifice, because these pieces are really active, and white king has not so much space. So we uh, take, take back. Now the king is forced to move in one of these two squares, and after knight e3 is mate. So let's go. Okay, on this one, the first thing is that the king is cut off. Um, so I think we could also play something like h5 in some moment. In some moment we could play h5 and maybe also right now. So h5, king h4 is forced. We have to find a way to threaten mate, and there is not an easy way, but I think the only good way is with king f5, because if the king takes on h5, we have rook h3 mate, so the king cannot take. And after king f5, there is not so much for black, because for white, sorry, because the rook can't move, this pawn can't move, this one neither, and neither this one. The only pawn that can move is the g5 pawn, but after he pushes, we can simply take back, and even if this rook becomes active, it can never go away from the a1 square, so it's, is stuck, and here we collect everything and we win. Okay, I will do other three puzzle, four, I think. Okay, on this one, the king is really, really open, and our rook, our queen is pinned. So let's see. Let's see. Here, the first thing that I consider is for sure giving a check that also a piece, and okay. So check on b7. The king has to go in one of these, not this one, and not even this one. The king has to go on one of these three squares, because otherwise there is. Ah, no, the queen is pinned. Sorry. Okay, so let me think. Rook b7, and after rook b7, really hard, this one. Maybe we can simply play. We are up on material, so maybe we can simply play rook c7, and then we will win, because we are up a piece. We are up a full rook, so let's just defend and then win. Yeah. I think it was. I thought it was about mate, but it wasn't. Okay, on this one, let's see. Here we have to move the king, so the easiest way to secure the king is by moving around this area with this pawn that works as a shield. But the thing that we have, okay, so we have two options, and the third option is this one that maybe works. I think is king h5, but let's just focus one moment for on g7 or h7. So our target is this pawn on c2, so the bishop should stay on this diagonal. So if king h7, there is queen h4, check, and then there is this sequence, maybe also with f6 square, and this a perpetual check. Otherwise, we have to block with one of our pieces, but we will no longer target the c2 pawn. So, and king on king g7, there is the same story with queen f6. So I think actually is king h5 because after that, there are no immediate checks, and there is not an easy way to cover this square. There is no way to cover that square, and after that, the king can't escape, so it will be forced to move here, and there is a mate on b1. So actually, if we don't allow white to deliver check, we win. Okay, and on this one, we take with the uh, bishop, yeah, and after queen here, we take this bishop. Nice. Last two. We are in check, and we are threatening also checkmating one and the queen. So we should try to avoid the checks. And well, the first thing to look is if we can escape in this direction and not in this one. Because in this direction we have more pieces, so we will be able to shield better. But let's check briefly king c6. On king c6, there is queen d6 that is mate, so it doesn't work. Queen e6 and king e6, and here there are two moves to check, three moves, but on two there is the same idea. So queen e7, and we have king f5, and if queen takes f7, we can block with the knight. No, queen e7, it doesn't. There isn't a queen e7 because there is the knight. So queen d6. On queen d6, king f5. The only other check is well, there are two checks. There is the check on d3 that we can simply trade because we are up a material, or there is the check on d7, and we can simply block with a knight, and after queen takes f7, we block with the f6 knight, and we are still threatening mate. So there is no time for white capture the knight. And after rook d6, we have pretty much the same story. So king f5, and after queen takes, we have knight f6. The only way to continue with the check is queen takes, rook takes, and after pawn takes, we can and queen takes, we can move the king on on e4, I think. And there are no other checks because these two squares are blocked, so we should be fine. Yeah, then not so much easy this one, but okay, king king here, knight blocks, and if queen takes, we block again. Okay, last one. Okay, on this one, the king has no space, so I'm looking for checkmates. And the first thing that I noticed here is that, well, there are two checks. So there is bishop f1 and rook g2. So we should go for rook g2. And after rook g2, the only well, there are some. There is this square and f1 square, but okay. So on king d1, there is a check on g1. If king back, there is a mate here, and if king c2, there is a mate on c1. So the king can't escape, can't go on d1. So king f1, and after king f1, I think we have rook f2, double check with the bishop and with the rook that is protected by the knight. So the king has to escape on g1, and we deliver checkmate on f1. So this is the solution. Okay, and these were the games, and these were the puzzles. So I hope you like it. I hope you find it helpful. See you in the next video.